Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy start of a brand new week. Those of you coming out of holiday mode like me, happy welcome back to a brand new week. This morning, we're going to talk about the feminine midlife shift. And as you know, this has kind of been the theme for me, I think, the last couple of weeks, mirroring my own life. I was just thinking, how in the world am I that number? How in the world am I that number? When did that happen? All right, so if you're joining, say hi, say good morning, let me know that you're here. This is one of those conversations, I always share with you that I share, teach, guide from my own life. And this is one for me that I would say probably I have been paying attention to for the last 12 to 18 months. And it's just being in that midlife season, for us women. And I want to talk about the shifts that happen when we're in that season, what it signals, and how to make the most of it. Right. So, for those of you that are kind of walking that walk with me right now, we're all in the same boat. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go. How can you tell? And I don't think this is an age thing. It really is a season. How can you tell if you're in that midlife season? One of the things that I find, and I started this conversation last week, where you start feeling that sense of discontent with your life. I know there's more. You start experiencing disruption. Every day I go on social media, I see somebody else just disruption in my own world, in my community, disruption. And it comes in all kinds of shapes and forms, right? Relationships ending, job loss, the entire focus of their business just like not into it anymore. It comes in all shapes and forms, but so disruption or feeling disconnected. And this morning, I want to give you a couple more signals. So when you're in this midlife season, it's where you are no longer feeling like the things that you are doing, it doesn't fit you anymore. It's like you've outgrown it. You don't feel fulfilled. The stuff that's there, kind of percolating in your life, whether it's personal or business, it just doesn't fuel anymore. You sense, you feel this is not it. Everything that's kind of happening out there, this ain't it. This is just not it. At the same time, you are very aware there is a something that is it. There is a something. There is another this that is it. And so you can imagine the emotional roller coaster. I liken it, for me over the last 12 to 18 months, there were moments where it felt like I am on a long spin cycle in a washing machine. That's what it felt like, Emotionally, that's what it felt like. And so um, I just knew there's something else calling, and that something else is outside of this washing machine. It's like not in here. It's not what I'm doing right now. It's not what I'm experiencing. It's not who I'm being. Even it's. I know it's not right. It doesn't fit anymore. It doesn't fulfill me anymore. It doesn't fuel me anymore. I know that, and so Mia says, Tasha, why are you always in my head? And so, for men, we call this midlife crisis, right? We all know that. I remember when I got married, that literally was my mom's advice. She was like, look, in his late 40s, 50s, men go through their midlife crisis. Well, I am realizing that as women, we have it too. And I want to say it is not a crisis. For us, it's a midlife calling. So, can you all help me reframe that? Jump in the comments, type it. It's a midlife calling. And what is calling? What's happening? Well, number one, we know physically we go through perimenopause, menopause, like the body literally physically has changed. It is saying, hey, beautiful woman, the things that your body could do at this season of your life has stopped, and you are now in this season. Your body physically stops, and we call it menopause. And I call it the great pause, the great pause, because this pause that our body initiates is absolutely a part of the calling. Forces us to recognize you have changed. You have physically, which is the easiest way to know you've changed. You have changed, right? So it causes us to pause and really reflect, which is the body's way of saying, pay attention. But then there's a spiritual change. And that's the one I really want to talk about. When, as women, how do we experience it? And spiritually, I think the change is, this is where we get the call the loudest. What is calling? Your soul. Your soul has an assignment. You came here to fulfill a purpose, to get yourself to completion and wholeness, and remembering the truth of who you are and doing the work that you came here to do. And your soul's purpose is to guide you to that. So at this point, your soul's going, look, you have all this life experience, you have all the things that you have failed at, succeeded at, you've garnered all of the wisdom. Now you're at this point where you've garnered all of the wisdom of your youth. You were chasing money for money. You didn't care about purpose. You couldn't care too much about your soul. Like, that was just like not on the agenda. And your soul's going, look, okay, now we're at this great pause where I got to call you back to get your attention so that we can complete the assignment. And your soul is calling you because it's what Maslow talks about in his hierarchy of needs, where he says self-actualization. Our purpose here is to fulfill, is to live to our greatest capacity, and our soul's job is to guide us and help us to do that. So it has to give us a wake-up call sometimes. And I like in this, it's interesting. Well, first I'm going to show you a diagram and tell you a story about how I experienced this several years ago. So I want you to think of like the blue circles as the point in your life where this is all of everything in the past, your youth, up until this point. You're now in this outer blue circle, and this is the rest of your life so far. This is the life that you have lived so far, and you are now up to this point. Well, this next pink, like the dashes here, this is where your soul's like, you are ready for the next level. You're ready for that ascended version of you that is more focused on the purpose you're here for, meaning, fulfillment of your destiny. Wealth now becomes not about money, but about this kind of wealth. The wealth that is achieved because you are fulfilled, because you're doing what you came here to do. And this purple one is total completion, like your soul fully actualized what it came in this lifetime to do. Now we know if you don't get here in this lifetime, you just have to come back and start over, right? And so your soul goes through this as many lifetimes as you want to choose to cause it to happen. Wisdom is power. And because we're not like our forefathers of thousands of years ago, we know the soul's journey today. We know that our job, it is calling us and doing its best to help us to get to completion in this lifetime. So whether you believe in other lifetimes or not, as your soul ascends, it gets to complete its purpose through you, right? So now that I've shown you this, I want to tell you a quote that I love from The Science of Getting Rich, which I teach from. And it says, when an organism has more life than can be expressed in its current form. So right now, when you are here in this outer blue circle, right, you are here. But remember, this is what you're capable of. Full completion of your soul's purpose here is purple. You are at blue, but you have the capacity to be here, fully actualized at purple. So if you were to imagine your soul, as this quote says, as an organism, you have the capacity for more. Whenever you have the capacity for more life than what you are currently living or experiencing, what is going to happen is that you're going to get an invitation. I call this the call. This is where you are being invited to expand into the next level, higher level version of you, of your soul. This is the law of nature. This is how nature works. In nature, when an organism has outgrown its current form, it evolves into its next highest version of itself. Look back at nature and the history of organisms, and those of you that did science, this is a law, this is how it works. Well, that happens for us too. And I want you to know that this season, when you are in the discontent, the disruption, the disconnection from feeling just I'm just I feel blah. When everything around you no longer fits, it no longer fulfills you, it no longer fuels you. This is your call. This is not a crisis. This is literally your soul saying, you are ready for the next level. And what you are experiencing, of course, it has to be uncomfortable. You've outgrown your current level. You've outgrown where you are right now. And in order to get you to have the desire to go for more, you got to feel like uncomfortable where you are. It has to feel crappy. It's like putting on a shirt that no longer fits. It's like it's tight. It just like it feels weird and awkward. You don't look good. You start beating yourself up. Like you go through all of those with clothes. Imagine if your soul no longer fits in your current version of you. It is going to try to get your attention. So this happened for me, and this is totally unrelated, but I just want to give you an example of how this works. Several, I don't know now, a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, I remember when I moved to a new county in Florida, and I found what I thought was my dream house at the time. I didn't even know properties like this existed in Florida, because at the time I was living in Broward County, which is very, very built out, completely built out. They started going out to the Everglades to build more. But that's where I live, on a 0 lot line. And I was like, I'm from the islands. We have a lot of room and space in our homes. And I was like, gosh, this is it. This is it. No, this is not it. And so long story short, we bought a business and we needed to move, and we ended up moving to this part of Florida and finding this house. I remember when I saw it in the magazine, I was like, there is no way this house exists this close to the beach, this much land for this price. It's not real. It's a scam. So of course we drove to the house. As soon as I pulled in the driveway, I mean, long extended driveway covered in a canopy, like with beautiful oak trees. It was I didn't even get out of the car. I said to my ex-husband at the time, I said, we're buying this house. I don't care who, what, where, when. We're buying this house. So we bought this house, and I remember I landscaped it. I did all my Jamaican fruit trees. I did the whole thing. I could see my kids growing up, graduating, getting married, my grandkids coming over to visit. This was where the rest of my life was going to be fulfilled. Yeah, the house was old, but you can fix it up, you can renovate. I didn't really care about the house itself. It was just the size of the lot, almost an acre. And so you can imagine lives. I get divorced. I'm living in my dream house, and I'm starting to feel depressed, anxious, just like discontent, dissatisfied, all the things that we talked about last week inside my dream house. And I remember my spirit, my soul saying, yeah, the energy of this house no longer fits your capacity, where you are going, what you are capable of, what the container, the size of your energy field needs now. And in order to get me to come out and be willing to sell my dream house, I needed to feel those feelings. I was sitting there all the time, just so depressed in this house, right? And so one day I'm at a stoplight, and literally across the street, I'm at the stoplight on my way to church. I'll never forget. And I hear a voice say, you're going to live over there. And it was like, over there? That's 0 lot lines, planned community, not me. There's no way I'm giving up my dream house for that. I don't know who that is, but be quiet back there, right? So fast forward, I buy this house. It happens, just to shorten the story, I buy this house. In that house, my kids graduated. I met my husband. We dated. I got married. I had my first almost 7-figure launch, right? Like in one launch, almost 7 figures. My entire life totally changed, because the container of the old house no longer fit the expanded energy that I was needing to step into. And this new home did. One of the other beautiful things that it did was it got me a ton of equity. So I was able to move and buy this new house. And, in this house, all these beautiful things are going to happen. So you see, I know it's a house. It's just a house, but it's the perfect example for you to see outside of your body what is happening in this season in your life. You are being called to expand. I want you to know, I want to know in the comments, do you feel it? Do you feel the call, and do you recognize that you are at a crossroads and you get to choose? In this crossroads, you stay the same, and your soul is just going to stop right where it's at, right? It's going to stop right here, right where it's at. And then you're going to go through this lifetime, and your soul still needs to get here. So it's just going to have to do it again, right? So you're at the crossroads, you can stay the same, or you can choose. You can choose, and this is what's needed, your free will. You have the free will to choose, to expand and to ascend. You have the choice to answer the call. In the comments, only if you know, I know I'm in this in between. I know I am experiencing moments of discontent, disruption, disconnection. It no longer fits. Life feels like the stuff that used to fuel me does not. It doesn't fulfill me. I know I'm there, and I want to answer the call. I want to know, how can I make the most of this season right now? Let me know in the comments, like, choose. I am answering the call. I love to make you type, which, is just a version of writing, because neurologically, you create a new neural pathway in your subconscious mind that says, this is a decision I've made. And once you consciously make a decision, and then we continue to feed it, your subconscious mind accepts it. And now your life transforms to make it true. It's just like me with the house. I had to get to the point where I made a decision to say, I'm going to move. Okay, I hear you. I'm going to move. This house no longer supports me. I'm going to move. So, hey, Heather, I am answering the call. If that is you, I want you to literally, in the comments, type that. Every single person watching live, wherever you are, I am choosing to answer the call. And I just want you to know that one of the areas, for me, it was my house at the time when my soul wanted to get my attention, right? One of the areas I see probably 90 to 95% of the women experiencing this call the most is in our work. Why is that? Why is it showing up in our work? Why are we experiencing discontent, disruption, dissatisfaction, disconnection in our work? Well, think about it. Your work, the thing you do to make money, is the place you spend the majority of your time. Your waking hours are spent majority like focusing on how to make money, the work that you do to make money. And so if your soul wanted to get your attention, where would it go right now? If you wanted to get your attention powerfully, it would go to the place you spend the most time. That's where we are experiencing the wake up call. And I truly feel that the call is, it is time to stop working for money. It is time to stop making it be wealth equals money and turn it into wealth equals meaning. Wealth equals my purpose. Wealth for me now is prioritized around alignment. And that's why I said the calling in this midlife shift is all about your work. If you choose to answer the call, you're going to have to look at, how can I bring in meaning, my purpose, and my soul's alignment into my work? That is the new wealth. That is the new wealth today. It has completely transformed the landscape of what we're here to do and how we're going to do it for the rest of this season. That is the call. And if you choose to answer it, I'm telling you what, I'm going to talk about this a lot this week. I am choosing to answer the call in my life. I don't know about you. Now, one of the ways that I want to support you with this is, I talk a lot about the soul today, and last week I talked about wealthy me. And for me, that version of me that knows the fullness of who I am, what I'm capable of, the wealth that I'm here to acquire, not just in money, but in purpose and meaning and impact and contribution and leaving a legacy. The version of me that has all of that knowing, knowledge, wisdom is calling me to sit with her. I call her, that version of me, my soul. wealthy me. And I invited you to, we always talk of spirit guides or whatever name you want to call it, but I invited you to personalize it in that way for you too. Wealthy me, like that version of me, I want to spend some time with her. I'm going to give you the opportunity this Saturday, July 12th at 12 Eastern. If it sounds like, this resonates with you and you are like, I need to spend some time with me. I need to spend some quiet time. I need to hear from that wiser version of me right now. I need some guidance. I need some answers. I need some secrets. I need some codes. I need, I need the shortcuts. I need the truth for me in this moment. Then I want to invite you. It's a free event on Saturday. And many of you are already registered. We have hundreds of women registered. But this is a different invitation this morning. So first, if you are not registered, type the word me in the comments and then check your DM. I'm going to send you a way for you to register in your DMs, right? Type the word me in the comments, check your DMs and go through the prompts. But there's another opportunity. Last week, on Tuesday, I spent 2 hours on the phone with my girlfriends. Actually, lightning at my house caused us to disconnect, or who knows how long we would have spoken. But on that call, 2 hours, we were just bearing our souls and our truth, and we laughed. And out of that call, all rest of the week, all of us said, with the conversations that we had about our souls and our purpose and holding each other accountable to that higher standard, we knew we ascended. We knew, we felt it. We were different. And there's a magic that happens when women come together in that energy. And so I'm going to ask you and reward you. Would you invite 5 friends to this event, 5 of your friends? Because one of the things that I know is as you start to expand, some people are not going to come along with you, right? So either, I want to invite you on this journey, you get to choose and you invite them, or, gosh, I would really love for you to come on this journey with me, and you invite them. Everyone who invites 5 women or more gets entered into a drawing, and then I'm going to choose 5 women, 5 only. So it's going to be a very intimate session. And I'm going to sit with you and go through what your soul channeled to you. And here's why I want to do that. Sometimes for so long, you have been accustomed to hearing from your conscious mind and your ego. I want to walk through after the session what came up for you. What were some of the things that you heard? I'm going to show you, make sure, like the ego check, make sure that wasn't your conscious mind still going after just money, right? But I also want to give you a powerful journal prompt to continue to support you. And we're just going to hang out and I'm just going to support you. So every woman who invites 5 women or more, you're going to get entered into the drawing to have this session with 5 women, me and 5 women after the event. All right. So how do you do that? Type the word me, check your DMs. If you are registered or if you are personally registered, it will say, are you registered? You say yes. And then it's going to give you the link for you to share with your friends. If you're not yet registered, type the word me and register yourself and then get the link to share with your friends. Make sure it's 5 or more and you get entered when they register, right? So how will we know you registered them? There's going to be a spot that says who referred you. They just put your name in and you're good to go. All I know is come Saturday, it's going to be magic. It's going to be magic. I don't know about you, but I have found that I owe it to the highest version of me to hear from her. And I owe it to this version of me that is just done with this level, honestly, and seeking to get to the next level. I owe it to this version of me, just like I sold that house and I moved and my life completely changed. I owe it to this version of me to choose to ascend. Mwah. I love you. It's not a crisis. It's a calling. Go have an amazing rest of the week and a great Monday. And I'll see you on Saturday. Bye, everyone.